5 Yakima artists are preparing to speak at the Artists of Color Expo and Symposium in Seattle this weekend. They plan to present a panel discussion on the barriers faced by Latina artists in the art world. I had the chance to see a preview of their presentation and spoke to the artists about how they have become a support system for one another.
I'm so thankful for everyone who came.
It's a presentation that is deeply personal to these 5 artists. The story of how they became Latina artists in Eastern Washington and the challenges they've faced along the way.
It's a very intimate thing to talk about, and it feels vulnerable to talk about all these things. But I think it's very important.
They'll be bringing their presentation to the Artists of Color Expo and Symposium in Seattle on May 20th. But first, they're holding a trial run with members of their own community in Yakima.
We really wanted to make sure that we got our points across really well, and that we got a chance to actually do it a few times before doing it in the big city.
Exploring topics such as what makes an art piece Latina.
I want my work to be labeled Latina because the creator is. And whatever I create represents me and all of me, even when it's not apparent.
And how to tackle the feeling of being an imposter.
It's not that I don't deserve good things, it's just I feel like they're not for me. But they are, because I do the work.
I'm like, yeah, I can get my master's, I can do this, but then my imposter syndrome comes from me not being Mexican enough to represent my community.
Rosie Saldana didn't grow up with Mexican traditions and doesn't speak Spanish, but she uses art as a way to connect to her culture.
So you'll see like a lot of Day of the Dead imagery in my work. You'll see maybe different like garments, but then also people. The people in my artwork are of color, are women. So I'm just trying to learn more through my art, but also like just gain a better respect for it because I've never had that growing up.
These artists simply want the same opportunities as others, and they're working to support each other in that goal.
I think that's a really big characteristic about the Latina community, because if we see someone succeed in our community, we're succeeding.
They hope this conversation will encourage others to support artists of color with kindness, funding, and by attending their art shows. If you would like to see more of the artwork by these 5 artists, we have their social media information on our website, yaktrynews.com.